For those of you who don't know, from 2004 forward, all the way to 2015, Google acquired many properties. ZipDash, Picasa, and Where2 were used respectively to make Google Maps, Google Street View Photos, and 360 Spheres, or Google Spheres. They bought these companies, used the technology, and squeezed them together into various things. Each of these inherited the user database and user base from each group with their own passwords and logins. And because some of the stuff cross-pollinated, like photos and 360 images, are considered similar or identical, Picasa, which became Google Photos, Where2 became Google 3D, 360, Google Maps Spheres, etc., and Google Maps, which was ZipDash, which had their user base, as well as hundreds of other companies, including using Google+, the thumbnails for your YouTube videos. There was a large, cumbersome mess Google Alphabet had to fuse together, so you ended up with passwords and logins from potentially dozens of companies needing to be made either the same password and login, which I hated, which meant that all that had to happen is one thing got broken into and everything was lost. That's the Google way. But before that, you had different passwords and logins. Because of that, it meant that if you erase something from Where2, the 360 product, it wouldn't affect Picasa, the 2D photo image area. And then when they added in 360 capability, you could still keep them separate. So someone come along saying, does removing a photo from Photos also remove the photo from Google Maps, which is Google Photo Maps or Map Photos, or Where2, subset, 2D images? Does it do one or the other? Now, in 2017, April 4th, when Julian Powell asked this, as one word, Julian Powell, under localguidesconnect.com, which is deleted because, well, we'll get to that in a minute, was he asking to try to hide something from Google Maps. On Google Maps, if you had something presented, you could request it be taken down by putting in a request. And if it was dependent on the image in Google Photos, obviously deleting it from Photos would have deleted it from the maps, or at least encumbered it. Hiding it on Google Photos would also make it to where nobody could see it through Google Photos, and therefore not be able to find you. You see, you could look at a Google Map image, and then right-click it, open it, and it would tell you the photo album on Google Photos, and also Picasa that was used, because at the time they were in flux, but they were trying to connect to each other. Now, if someone who wanted to hide it from both, and it was always a Google photo originally, but that's questionable in 2017, all that he would have had to do was declare the photo not public and not provide a link. This means it would be erased from Google Maps. The only reason I know about that is I asked that question in 2017 specifically because of the image of the Monon High Bridge in 360. There was two of them. And I found out later, as all of you did, it was Julian Powell, or at least it is assumed to be Julian Powell. Yes, I said that, because there was also the products, remember all these different products? You could transfer ownership to different people. Someone tried to get me to do that by tricking my computer into allowing that by making me have an auto-confirm email from Google saying fuse the accounts but separate my videos from my photos from my email and crap out my account. I went through that from 2014 forward for about 6 weeks. Actually, it was 6 months, but it was 6 weeks intensively being sent, would you like to connect questions. And those were normally auto-answered kind of things. So, does Julian Powell asking about this show, A, he didn't know how to delete an image from Google Maps, B, he was trying to make sure he didn't, C, he was dealing with the same thing everybody else was, including me, where all of these products were transitioning to require you use the same password and login so you could lose everything if someone broke into your fucking phone. So, someone asked me, if Julian Powell was so IT trained, experienced, and tech savvy, why did he need to ask 4chan how to delete photos off of Google? He didn't. He was asking Local Guides Connect, which is the originating software platform originally that was for setting up local guides for mapping that would be applied to various maps, not just Google Maps. These are all separate products, each of them at one time having their own separate passwords and logins and different rules and etiquette for how photos would be kept, deleted, or cached. And to this day, if you look up, if I delete a photo from Google Photos, will it also remove it from Google Maps, even though they've deleted them from Google Maps mostly? it's still a question that has the wrong answer. Next, the only thing on 4chan or any place else that has anything to do with Julian Powell and wanting to delete something, again, he was talking about deleting Google Photos, not Google Maps, is one of 6 people who replied to him. We only get to see one answer. The other answers might have been as complicated as the one I gave you. And you may have noticed you can do localguidesconnect.com/something and find something. This one here is one thing he commented on. It's the only thing left. It's an echo or a ghost of him asking here. And the only reason we can tell that is someone replied to him, and the at you, the reply thing, says Julian Powell, all one word. And it's deleted. His localguidesconnect.com information is gone, and it was never archived. Now, let me repeat that. Someone on 4chan found this supposed smoking gun and didn't archive something like that. Now, I know that it asks you for your Google password and login now, but in 2017, it fucking didn't. I remember bopping through there trying to find information about the images. That was the Local Guides Connect page that had all the data. I read tutorials there. I archived a few of them. Yeah, that's right. LocalGuidesConnect.com at the time let you archive things. So I've archived this on a couple of 4chan backups. It's just a photo, a screen grab, which can easily be phonied. And none of them archived anything. Remember, this is 4chan and the Reddit knuckleheads. These people archive their pants. I don't think there was any trouble doing that. In fact, again, the echo of Julian Powell, all one word, on localguidesconnect.com, when you Google search it, brings up this one here, which is him asking, and this is another one here, view profile page, user ID. There's his user ID. It was archivable at the time. It still would be if he had a page up. I'm not kidding. Back then, it didn't require that you log in with a Google account either. So, again, if this was a smoking gun, why didn't someone archive it instead of getting a screen grab and, oddly enough, cutting off the top where we'd be able to see the URL? Did Julian Powell make this request? I don't know. Is this a smoking gun? No, this is proof that he was trying to ask people, if I screw them with Google Photos, will it also screw up my Google Maps? That's the sense I get from this. Next, he was trying to be a local guide and get points. They would give you kind of attaboys and points. He's a level 7 contributor. This is a level 8 here. I don't know whether 1 through 10 is bad to worse or worse to bad, but you get the idea. And yes, this was in the middle of 2017. Any of you that don't remember 2017 and Google's stupid bull crap? So yeah, and at the time, again, this was after the murders in Delphi. I was trying to find out where the image came from. I didn't care who uploaded it. I just wanted to find out the time and date stamp for it. And I was having trouble then too. But yeah, I went through Google Guides Connect and a couple of other pages with similar names trying to find information on how I would track this out and try to get the 360 image itself. I wanted to grab it because I figured they were going to delete it eventually because there was a murder in the area. And I failed, and most of you did too. Again, I'm IT trained, I'm experienced, I'm tech savvy, at least that's what people tell me. After they pay me the exorbitant amount of money I make them pay me at the coffee shop for fixing their stupid broken computers. I ask people questions all the time. That's how you become IT trained, experienced, and tech savvy. If you don't ask questions, you're an idiot. And trust me, in 2017, no one knew how Google worked. No one knew how Picasa or Google Images worked or Google Maps, which used to be ZipDash and a couple of dozen other companies. None of us knew how any of this worked because Google didn't. Am I defending this guy? No, I'm asking why someone's using a screenshot when we could have had an archive. I put archives here. When the sources I'm critiquing don't archive things, I get suspicious. When it's easy to archive, or at least it was at the time, I get really suspicious. And yes, I'm going to try to make an archive for both of these to see even if today I can archive them. It may fail, but we'll find out. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.